We're going to be talking to people in packaging. We're going to be talking to people who do the food rescue, people from last year who have got an idea and they've turned it into a business, or they've looked at their business and they've realized how much is being wasted. And so they're trying to reduce the waste before it's even occurring. Well, hello, and welcome to the first episode of Food Waste Matters podcast for 2024. We're so excited to be bringing you this series again. Well, we started it last year, and we've made a few changes thanks to all of the wonderful suggestions we've had from listeners. So, welcome. Here we are.
And hello from Joanne, and I'm really looking forward to sharing with you some of the exciting conversations we've had with businesses, industry, and researchers this year.
Yeah. Well, you've already been out and about in South Australia talking to people, listening to what they're doing with food waste, and lots of amazing stories coming out of that. And I just love a good story, particularly a food story. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk a little bit about what we did in 2023, what we've got planned for 2024, and as we just teased everyone there, we're going to talk a little bit about what Joanne's been doing since the start of this year, 2024. So what we thought we might do today, Jo, is we would just think about, we did a number of episodes last year, and they were fantastic episodes. But I just wanted to ask you, what are some of the episodes, I guess, that you really resonated with? I mean, they're all great, but, perhaps you could talk about one or two. I've got a couple as well. So
a couple that really, really hit home for me is, and both of them, ironically, were females. One was Hidden Orchard. Now, and Hidden Orchard, which is located in Bendigo in Victoria. So we had the opportunity to speak with the founder, Ellen Burns of Hidden Orchard, and she joined us to talk about the often overlooked food waste stream in your back garden or in public spaces like fruit trees in your back garden or in public places like parks or even cemeteries. Because quite often there's a bounty of food just being dropped to the ground. So she had this fantastic concept where she gathered together all of these volunteers who went and harvested and picked all of this fruit and then distributed it to people in need. So it's a really, really simple concept, rescuing fruit that's not being used and sending it to people in need. Now they have this fantastic website that you can register your tree or the public space, and they have now grown from initially Ellen and 4 volunteers to now over 200 volunteers and 300 registered places.
Wow!
So it was a fantastic concept, and it's a win-win for everyone. So it's reducing waste in your own garden or in public spaces, and that food is going to people in need. So it really hit home to me. It was really, really memorable, and I really take my hat off to Ellen for continuing to grow this initiative. What about you? What was one of your favourites? And I shouldn't say favourites, but what was one of yours?
Yeah. Look, I first of all really loved that story. I mean, and I loved, as I said, I love to hear stories, and I love hearing about people who see a problem and take action. And that's one of the episodes that that really resonated with me last year was the guys from Good and Fugly. That's Richard Torino and Jonathan Englert. They were a couple of entrepreneurs, and they saw a problem. They saw that there was a bunch of fruit and vegetables and food that essentially doesn't ever leave the farm. And doesn't leave the farm because it might not be able to get to market, or it might not meet the specifications for market, but it's still really good to eat. It might look a bit unusual, might not be quite the same colour. But what they've done is they've created a system that connects excess farm supply directly to people in the home. So you can order a box of good and fugly, and it's a surprise. You don't know what you're going to get because it's going to be things that would have been wasted, but they're still great to eat. And I just love that they've taken a surprise and delight element and they've added that to helping to solve what is a problem, product that is grown and not used. And this is a problem that is not just in Australia, but that whole story really resonated with me.
Yeah, I love that story, Jayne, because now you can just log on to their website and place your order. And I do like their surprise factor because it's seasonally based. So they're not
exactly.
so they're using what is available in that season. So it is a surprise factor. It's a great idea, and it's really catching on.
Yeah. Have you got another one?
Oh, yes. And look, another one that resonates with me, and this is from South Africa. We got to interview Linda Mann-Yazer from South Africa. Now, Linda founded a food manufacturing company called Food Masters South Africa. Now, she actually founded this company based on unfortunate circumstances of her own, where she was a single mother, she was poor, and her children were going hungry. So now what she did is she used to collect fruit and vegetables that would otherwise have gone to waste and dehydrated that food and turn that food into meals for her own children. But now she's gone even one step further. She is now passionate about making a difference in those rural communities where she came from. So she's all about training small-scale farmers in those rural areas on how to dehydrate their own fruit and vegetables. So therefore, it not only provides nutrition for those local communities and those local people, but it also provides a sustainable income for them. So I found that totally profound and really inspirational. And Jayne, what about another one for you?
Yeah, look, similarly, I found this one inspirational, and I really do love hearing those stories where, we're learning new ways, and sometimes those new ways are old ways. This is what our grandparents and other people used to do, and we kind of lost it. And that's one of the things that Uma, who's also known as the Fish Girl, brought to us last year. I think it was in September. So she came on to talk about how she's really focused on how to promote the use of underutilized and undervalued fish species. These are fish that are readily available, but consumers just don't know about them. And so we stick to things we know. And so her approach is to work with chefs and the food service sector. And she works with, right from when they're learning to be chefs right through to, current chefs in some wonderful restaurants. And what she's really challenging us all to do is to use as much of the fish as possible, because globally about 50% of the fish that's harvested is actually wasted, because we typically just eat the fillet and we don't eat the rest of the fish. And yet people like Josh Nyland from the fish butchery in Sydney, he's written books about this, about how to use different elements of the fish. And in fact, I'll tell you a story. I went to just before COVID, he was running little workshops at the fish butchery, and he showed us how to use different parts of the fish. And we got to taste some of these, everything from crackers made from eyeballs, which sounds awful, but it's actually wonderful. And
Not
chocolate
convincing me,
cake.
Jane.
No, I know, but chocolate cake made using rendered fat from fish that had been used for other purposes. And you would have thought everyone's going, well, I'm not sure I can eat this, but it was amazing. It was really amazing. So, these people are out there, they're challenging our perspectives, and we should be open to that, because if we are going to solve the food waste issue, we all need to think about new ways and other ways of doing things. And
so if you want to find out more information about some of the guests that we had last year, please just go to our website on www.foodwastematters.com.au. All our previous episodes are there for you to either download, read, or simply listen to. So, Jayne, what's going to happen for 2024? What have we got in store for our guests this year?
Well, great question, Jo. And we have a lot in store. So we've got a very good response to last year's series. And so we spent the summer sort of thinking about how can we get this out to more people? How can we profile more people? So we've decided, the big thing is we've decided to have a podcast downloaded every 2 weeks. So we're going to be busy interviewing lots and lots of different people. We're going to be talking to people in packaging. We're going to be talking to people who do the food rescue. We're going to be talking to people from last year who have got an idea and they've turned it into a business, or they've looked at their business and they've realized how much is being wasted. And so they're trying to reduce the waste before it's even occurring. So there's so many different things that you can do. So I'm not going to give the whole thing away, but we are going to go every 2 weeks with an episode, and they're very different, themes. We're going to be talking about some research. We're going to be talking with businesses. We're going to be talking with students, people who are learning about this stuff and discovering new ways of using the food.
So, Jayne, I can't help myself, but I just want to give our viewers a sneak peek at what's coming up next. So, as you know, I've been lucky enough. I've been for the last couple of weeks, I've been in the Murraylands and Riverland region of South Australia, and I have been speaking with really small food manufacturers in that region that are doing some amazing things to transform food waste into commercial products. So making money from food waste, essentially. One of the people that I got to speak with was Kelly Johnson from Wood Lane Orchard. And she is producing some fantastic products, and one in particular, which she's focusing on this year, is her spiker product. So what Kelly actually does, she goes out to farms, picks the fruit herself off the trees that the farmer is not going to pick himself, and she takes it back to her manufacturing facility, dehydrates the food, and turns it into some wonderful products, which you can buy online as well. And the Spicer product is really focusing on the camping, the hiking, the outdoorsy market. So it's a really, really delicious, it's still dehydrated. So, when you walk into camp or pull up alongside the road at night, because great for caravanners as well. So, that's where I was going because I'm a caravaner. You heat it up at night, and it's different to the traditional dehydrated hiking foods that are currently on the market. There's more value for money, but also it's so delicious because there's lots of different flavors. So she's doing amazing things. Using local produce to reduce waste and commercialize it and make money out of it. So watch this space for the Spiker brand for Wood Lane Orchard.
So before you go on, So does she get her product? Is her product a waste product from the farmer? From the
Absolutely.
farm? She goes and collects it. Is that how it works?
That's how it works.
Okay.
That's how it works. So Kelly has, she has a network of farmers. She goes and picks that fruit. She pays the farmers for that fruit. So, it's a win-win for the farmers. They're getting paid for fruit that otherwise they would not have picked. And then she brings it back to her manufacturing facility and dehydrates the product. Amazing.
Fantastic. Amazing.
And then the other one I got to, well, there was quite a lot, but the other one, this was up at somewhere in the Riverlands on the edge of the desert somewhere. Who would have thought, Jayne, that there was a world-renowned date palm producer in the Riverlands? It's amazing. I'm not even going to begin to try to explain the science around how that started. I'll get Dave Riley, who's the owner of Gura Down Dates, to explain the science behind it. But all I'd like to say is they started, just him and his wife, having growing fruit and vegetables, and now it's a big family concern. They not only grow date palms, they sell date palms now, and more importantly, all the waste they value add and turn into another product. So once again, I'm not going to steal the thunder for Dave. Watch this space, because he'll be joining us in a later podcast episode. So I've had an amazing couple of weeks talking to people that are just so innovative and turning waste into profit.
Right. Oh, well, those two sound amazing. And there's lots of other guests that we already have lined up. So watch this space. But one of the other features of what we do with this podcast is we like to feature some of the researchers and some of the organizations involved. And this whole podcast is supported by End Food Waste Australia. So every 2 months, we're going to talk to the CEO of End Food Waste Australia. That's Dr. Stephen Lapich. We talked to him a lot last year, and he gave us, and each time he comes and he talks about lots of activities that are going on, the research that's going on, the industry initiatives. And he's really connected across Australia, but also internationally. So using his networks and the networks of everybody else in Food Waste Australia, we're able to draw on those experiences and take those learnings and bring them back to Australia, but also take Australian know-how to the world. So it is really trying. The whole world is trying to deal with this problem. In fact, it's one of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals is to reduce food waste. So our next episode is, in fact, an interview with Dr. Stephen Lapich, who is the CEO of End Food Waste Australia, and he's going to bring us up to date on what End Food Waste Australia does, who's involved, and importantly, how can our listeners get involved in this fight against waste? What can they get assistance? Can they get some knowledge? Those sorts of things. So really excited to catch up with Steve in the next episode. So that's pretty much, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give people a bit of a taster of what's to come, but also to reflect on what we did last year, which we've done. And I really, really, really encourage the listeners, if you haven't listened to all the episodes from last year, go to the website. They're all there. And there are some really fascinating, they're all fascinating. I just love every single one of those episodes.
And Jayne, I just thought, just a reminder for people, we are dropping episodes every fortnight. So you don't miss out, and so you get notified when we drop them, jump onto the website, subscribe to our mailing list, and then we'll send you a reminder as we drop our episodes.
Fantastic. So that website again, www foodwastematters.com.au, and you'll see a subscribe button as soon as you go there. Please go there. You can also find us on YouTube and on Spotify. And so I think that's it. So thank you, Joanne, for telling us and teasing us about what's happening in the rest of the year. Excited to be here. Bring it on. Have a great couple of weeks until the next episode drops, everybody. Until then, take care.
Well, and it's bye from me, and I'll see you all in March.
Okay, bye-bye.